The name Zechariah means the Lord remembered. Zechariah is known for his visions.
Listen to me. I have received visions from God, and I will tell you about those.
In this vision, there was a man riding a red horse standing in a grove of myrtle trees. Behind him were red, brown, and white horses. The angel of the Lord explained that these horses were sent throughout the earth and found the world at peace and rest. But Israel was not at rest and peace. In fact, it had been exiled for 70 years and Jerusalem was in ruins. God sympathized with the Israelites and they declared, "I will return to Jerusalem with mercy, and there my house will be rebuilt. My towns will again overflow with prosperity, and the Lord will again choose Zion." The message of this vision is that God was angry at the nations of the world which destroyed Israel, and that He would bless and restore Israel again. In this vision, Zechariah saw 4 horns and 4 craftsmen. When asked, the angel was clear in explaining the meaning of these symbols. These horns represent the nations trying to destroy Israel. The craftsmen holding the saw have come out to cut these horns of the nations who tried to harm His people. The prophecy shows that God raises up powers to destroy those people who's against His land and His people. In this vision, Zechariah saw a man with a measuring line go and measure Jerusalem to find out how long it is. When Zechariah asks him where he's going, the man replied,
"I'm going to measure the city of Jerusalem. The city is to remain unwalled because of the great number of people and cattle in it. The Lord will protect her as a wall of fire, and He shall be the glory of Jerusalem."
This is an incredible prophetic statement because Zechariah was seeing his visions and giving his messages to the returning exiled of Israel, who were in the process of building a wall around Jerusalem. The vision was showing that there would be a day when Jerusalem would grow to vast proportions and not need a wall because of God's protection. Though this vision, God showed him His blessings on restored Israel. The first 3 visions pictured Israel being freed from captivity, her expansion, and the prosperity of the land. However, in the 4th vision, God is showing him the eternal state of Israel, which is in need of cleansing from sin and reinstatement as a priestly nation. This vision is a bit different from the others, and there is no question about it. The characters are identifiable. We see Joshua, the son of Jehozadak, the high priest who returned along with Israelites from Babylon. Joshua is seen in filthy clothes because of his sin, but the angel commands other angels to take it off from Joshua. The filthy clothes represent his sins, and by lifting them away, it shows God's forgiveness and love. Once forgiven and cleansed by the Lord, the angel had instructions for Joshua in order to retain his new form. He said, "If you will walk in my ways and keep my requirement, then you will govern my house and have charge of my courts." It meant that if Israel remained this clean and as a priestly state, God was promising that Joshua would rule Israel in days to come. In this vision, Zechariah saw a gold lampstand with a bowl of oil at the top, from which 7 lamps were burning on the stand. Then there were 2 olive trees standing on each side of the lampstand with 2 gold pipes that continually supplied oil to the stand. These 7 lights represent the eyes of the Lord, and they light the whole world. The olive trees represent the anointed ones or priests who stand before the Lord and connect him with the people. The whole vision is connected to the rebuilding of the temple. It showed him that they will be able to finish the construction of the temple with the help of abundant supply of the Holy Spirit. The last three visions showed Zechariah about the judgment for the sins in Israel and on their enemies. In the sixth vision, Zechariah saw a flying scroll, 30 feet long and 15 feet wide. The scroll was not rolled up, but flying open so that one could read both sides. The angel explained to him what it meant.
This is the curse that is going out over the whole land. For according to what it says on one side, every thief will be banished. And according to what it says on the other side, everyone who swears falsely will be banished. It will enter the house of the thief and the house of him who swears falsely by my name.
The vision is a call to righteousness in Israel, and the scroll represents the word and law of the Lord that judges the sinful. God desires that his people and his land remain holy. In this vision, Zechariah saw an Iffa, which is a measuring basket for grain, whose lid, when lifted, was a woman sitting inside. The angel told him that the woman represented wickedness, and he pushed the wickedness back into the basket and shut the lid. Then Zechariah saw two women with the wind in their wings like a stork, and they lifted the basket up into the air. When Zechariah asked where the basket was being taken, he was told that it was being taken to Babylonia for building a house for it. Babylon is the place of ancient idolatry, so it was an apt location for carrying out the idolatry from Israel. So this vision in short meant the removal of Israel's sins and rebellion against God. Then Zechariah saw 4 chariots coming out from between 2 mountains. In this instance, the mountains symbolize the righteous, divine judgment of God against sin. The chariots were going to execute his judgment. The first chariot had red horses, the second one had black horses, the third had white ones, and the fourth was dappled. It has been suggested that the colors represent red for war and bloodshed, black for death, white for triumph, and dappled ones stood for pestilence. The angels then told Zechariah,
These are the 4 spirits of heaven, going out from standing in the presence of the Lord. The one with the black horses is going towards the north country. The one with the white horse was going towards the west, and the dappled one was going towards the south. They were sent throughout the world.
So in short, this vision showed the divine judgment of God towards the Gentile nations.
The Lord will wipe away the wickedness and injustice from this land and purify you.
Those messages are wonderful.
Yes, he is a true prophet. All that he says is going to come true.
Just like the words of Amos and Isaiah.
The people accepted the teaching of Zechariah. Heeding his advice, the people of Jerusalem completed the construction of the temple in a few years, and Joshua was coronated as the high priest of Israel.
The Lord appoint you as the priest and the king of people.
Zechariah also made several prophecies, and all of these came true. He had prophesied about a future king who arrives on a donkey. Many of them were fulfilled by Jesus Christ in the New Testament.